Sheriff.
What about Mr. Winter? Could we ask him a couple of questions?
Ed, can you speak? We have a coroner's office.
Go ahead.
Sure.
How did you make the identification? Is it possible to say?
The identification was made yesterday evening by an odontologist and it came back positive. And I might, let me refer to Mr. Richardson being, not being advised. This morning, prior to notifying the sheriff, made a call to Matrice's mother, advised her, and then we called and tried to get in touch with Mr. Richardson, and somebody involved in the family notified the media. Our attempt was, and I think Mr. Richardson, you'll discover that we tried to get in touch with you. Our policy is that we notify family. Sometimes family is not at the same place, and we apologize that he had to get that information here, but we did not notify the press. The first call went to the family, and we tried to meet our policy and our obligation.
Chief Winter, regarding the investigation from this point on, how closely are you going to be working with Sheriff's Homicide? How long do you envision a forensic pathological examination of the remains will take? Any idea?
We conducted the pathological exam preliminary, also with an anthropologist yesterday and the odontologist yesterday evening. The cause of death is deferred at this time. It is an ongoing investigation, and as soon, if we can give causes with mode, manner, and cause of death, we will do so.
How close will you be able to pinpoint the time the body had been there? Will you be able to get within a week, a day, a month?
According to the preliminary exam and the condition, it was determined that it could have been there for 6 months up to over a year.
What sort of clothing was found with the body?
I'm sorry.
What sort of clothing was found?
I'm not going to say at this time. There was clothing found around the scene. However, as the sheriff did comment, there was a harvested grove area, and there had been people prior to a year ago that were living up there and staying up there. So there was a number of items recovered, and we've discussed the items that we believe that belong to Matrice will be returned to the family after we have them analyzed.
How likely is it you'll be able to pinpoint a cause of death?
Don't know it. Don't know at this time. That is in the hands of the pathologist and the anthropologist. We did not find anything obvious at this time, but it's a long process.
Was other evidence found at the scene which has been turned over to Sheriff's Homicide for now, or do you still have possession of everything?
I'm not going to discuss what was recovered or
Well, not what was, but have items been turned over to Sheriff's Homicide?
we have items and the remains.
What is an
Odontologist, would you clarify what
It's a dental
Thank you.
expert.
Can you explain a little bit about how that identification process works? What's the minimum that you need to make a match?
Through the family's assistance, and we've been working with the sheriffs and with LAPD, and through the family's assistance, we were able to obtain dental records and dental x-rays from the dentist. The odontologist, the dental specialist came in and was able to positively identify.
And Ed, the time that this was a marijuana grove predates the time when Matrice could have been there?
To my information that I received.
Thanks, Ed.
Okay?
Thanks,
I
Chief.
want to clarify the distance. It's 8 miles from the Lost Hills Station and about 2.5 miles from the Cold Canyon sighting. That's as exact as we can get at this time. Okay?
And how far from the Lost Hill Station to the backyard sighting? How far?
It's 7.5 miles, I can tell you that.
About 5 miles.
About 5 miles.
7.5, I measured it.
But that's not an area you can walk to, is it?
I'm sorry, what area?
The area where the remains were found.
No, you can walk to it. The only way you can get to it or helicopter in.
But I mean, can you get there on foot is what I'm saying.
Yes, you can, but there's no, as far as I know, there's no identifiable trails. You have to hack your way through.
So it's unlikely she got there on her own.
There's a
Well,
river.
once again, we don't want to speculate on that, but I will tell you this, Homicide is going to continue the investigation. They're going to try to figure out if they can, which we probably, it's likely can never do, but they're going to try to figure out how she in fact got there. So that is something, this is not closed, this is still open, and that's what they're going to do.
Thanks.
So to be
Okay.
clear, it's about 5 miles from the station to the sighting, and about 2.5 miles or so from the last sighting to where she was found.
Yes,
7.5 miles from the station to Bill Smith's house.
okay?
And can you repeat what you said? It's unlikely, you were saying that,
I measured it myself.
will we ever be able to figure out how she got where she?
Well, no, homicide will continue their investigation. It is, we do not know, it's likely that we can never find out exactly how she got there, but they're gonna do their very best to figure that out. So that is still under investigation, and it's still going to be looked at. Thank you.